Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Noor Networks. In this tutorial, we will be configuring URL filtering and application filtering. So before we proceed with the configuration, let me give you a brief what we are going to do in this tutorial. We will be creating a rules to either allow a search specific website or application or to block. So in order to create a rule, we will be either creating a customized URL and we will test the rule, and additionally we will be using the pre-configured categories which are available in the checkpoint to block or allow a specific site or application. This testing we will be doing one by one. Very first, we will be using our IP addresses, the source host, where we will be defining the IP addresses of the LAN PCs, and we will test how the policy works. And in the second phase of the same tutorial, over here we will be testing the policies using a username, that is identity awareness. We will be defining the users on the source and we will check the policy. So basically, we will be doing a filtering on the IP address basis as well as user based. Let's begin with the configuration. So in order to begin with the configuration, the very first thing which you will be doing is you will be enabling the software blade as per your requirement. Just double click over here on the checkpoint gateway and you have to enable application control and URL filtering. But if you remember in our previous tutorial when we were doing a lab on identity awareness, we have enabled this filter to proceed further, right? So now what we did, we have just checked the application control box and URL filtering was checked from before. Click on OK. Once this is done, the second thing what you have to do is you will click on menu over here, then go to manage policies and layers, and we are configuring a policy. This is lab policy. We are adding the rules and configuring in the lab policy. So we will edit this lab policy over here and just double click in this blank space of blades, and we will check this application and URL filtering box, and this box as well. Multiple policies and rules can use this layer. Click OK and then click again OK. Close this. Go to security and policies. Now we will start configuring the rules over here. Okay, but before that let me show you. We went to the menu over here and then we went to manage and policies. The same thing you can do it from here as well. Just right click on this policy and edit policy. Since you are in the lab policy itself, it will allow you to edit the lab policy from here. This is also option from where you can edit it, and you can just double click and check this option which is already checked, right? Close this. So till our previous tutorial, this all were the rules which we have created till now, right? So before we proceed, what I'm going to do, very first we are going to test the policies using a source based IP addresses. So let's take this down. We'll bring the internal rule, that is the rule for management station to network up. We will be disabling this rule and we will enable this rule. This is not a part of our tutorial since we have done this changes till our earlier tutorial. So in order to proceed further, we have done these changes. We have taken the rule up and disable and all. We are preparing for the policy configuration now. Lab policy install. Guys, if you can see, my licenses are going to expire. The one which we downloaded, the Gaia OS, that is basically a trial version given by Checkpoint for 15 days. So since it is going to expire, it is giving me this warning. Okay, click on install policy. And let's wait till the policy is successfully installed. It's taking some time, so anyhow, we have to wait till the installation is successful. So, guys, as you can see now, the installation is successful, and we will proceed with the configuration further. I minimize it by mistake. Let me maximize it. Okay. So what we did till now, just let me quickly repeat. The very first thing, we have enabled the URL filtering and application control blades. Then we have edited the lab policy, and we have just checked the application and URL control box. And now we are going to start with the policy. Now, in between, what we did, that was just to, you know, disable the things which we have done previously and not in use now. So at present, what is the scenario? You are having one rule which is being configured to reach till internet for the management station. Okay. So if you will see, this is our lab scenario. This is our network design. So using this rule, the rule number 3, that is internal rule, you will be able to reach to the internet from the management station, right? Let's verify this thing very first. I will say I will go to facebook.com, for example. And you can see I am able to reach to the internet. The facebook.com, it's opening for me. Let's browse some other sites as well, like google.com. It is reaching. So in short, I'm able to reach the internet. Now what we are going to do, even you have seen that the Facebook was reachable. The very first thing what we are going to do is, we will be configuring a rule where we will define that for this particular management station, I want to block facebook.com. And guys, just add a note that over here I have only one management station, so I am only configuring a rule for the management station IP address. But at the same time, if you want to define the rule for the entire LAN, you can do so by adding a network. So what you are going to do is, instead of management station over here, you will be adding the entire internal LAN over here. Okay. So it's up to you as per your requirement. Now, in order to block the Facebook, what you are going to do is just right click over here and add a rule above this rule. And you will say block website rule. What you can give the name whatever you want, and we will be just configuring the rule for this particular management station itself. The source is management station. The destination will be all internet. And when you talk about service and application, the very first thing what we will do, we will be using a pre-configured category, and we will test the rule. Then after this, we will be creating a customized URL also. For now, we will use the pre-configured category. Just click over here and type Facebook over here. So you will see you have a pre-configured category for Facebook. Now it is up to you. You want to block the entire Facebook itself, or you want to block a specific thing like Facebook app, Facebook business, Facebook lifestyle. If you want to block a certain subcategory, you can do that as well, or you can straight away block the primary category, that is Facebook. Just check over here. So click over here on Facebook and close this. What action you want over here? You will say drop. Okay. And the track, log the action. Policy target, it will be a checkpoint gateway. But in our case, if you don't give the checkpoint gateway also, it's okay, because in the policy itself we have defined the installation target, which is checkpoint gateway. Now just go straight away, click on install policy, publish and install. It need to be defined on lab policy. Click on install button. Just click install policy and that's it. Wait for the policy to install successfully. So guys, our policy is installed successfully. Now we will straight away go to our management station. We are into the management station, and this is the same machine on which we are testing the policy also, right? So we will test the policy over here, and we will try to open facebook.com, and let's see if our rule is working perfectly or not. So as you can see, the Facebook is not reachable now, right? Which means that this policy has started to work, and we will just try to check the logs as well for this. Just click over here and you will see downside that the policy has started to work. Open one of the entry from this logs by double clicking over here, and you will see that the action is dropped, which is the match rule. The match rule will be block website rule, the same one. Okay, so guys, this was the one thing. Now we'll do one more thing, that is we will be like over here we have added a pre-configured category. Now we will be adding a customized URL. So for doing so, either you can go from over here, then you have to define a URL, or else you can do one more thing. Just click on this plus button over here. Let me repeat once again. There are two ways you can do. Either you can go to the application and categories, and from here you can define it, or else straight away from the rule itself you will just click this plus button over here, and then instead of selecting the pre-configured category, you will click over here, then click on custom application site, and then click on application site. Once it is open, you will give the name over here. Now what we will do, we will try to block some sports category websites. Okay, so we will say sports. We will give the name as sports, and we will be defining URL. Let's define block, I mean, let's use the URL www.cricktime.com. This is one of the streaming website for cricket. Let's add one more website, www.crickinfo.com. Simply click on OK over here. So the sports group in which we have added a two URL is being added over here. Now additionally what I want, it should not only drop, but it should give a message also to the user when the website gets blocked. So what you will do, you will just click over here and click on more over here. Then you will find a user check, right? So just click this and say block message. Now what will happen? It will display a block message. What block message it will display? Let me show you. Just click on this edit button. This is a message which will be shown to the user when the website will be blocked. Okay, if you want to do some, I mean, if you want to edit it or something, you can do that as well. So for now what we will do, we will straight away go with the default one, and in this next policy where we will be blocking some more thing, at that time we will check how to customize, so that you will get an idea how this will happen, and when the changes will happen, what will be seen. Okay, we will keep this message default, and you'll click on OK button. So now you can see the action is drop block messages. So now whenever this particular application, Facebook or sports, will be getting blocked, then you will get a message over there instead of that error page. Click on install policy, publish and install. Our policy is lab policy. install. So now our policy is successfully installed, and we will test this. We will go to the sports website which we have logged now. www.cricktime.com. Now, as you can see that we have not only blocked, but at the same time we said drop and display the message. So the message which was there, that is being shown now instead of that error page. It is saying page is block access to sports. We have defined the sports as a category, right? Sports is blocked according to the organization security policy. Category is custom application site. Okay, and it is saying to the user that click here to report the wrong category. If the category is wrong, like the site which you have browsed is not coming under sports, and it is defined in the sports, in that case report it. Now, this is how you will be displaying a error, displaying a message to the user if you want to block certain category and you want to display a message. So now till now what we have seen two things. You can create a rule, you can straight away block it from the predefined category. What we have done is like we have chosen the Facebook from the predefined category, and we have said drop the traffic for this, and the policy has taken place. Additionally, then moving on, what we did is like we have added one more uh, category, and that was customized site which we have created for the sports, and we have added two URLs and we have tested that. Additionally, we have said that the action should be dropped and the message should be displayed to the user. So we have checked that even that worked well for us. And now what we are going to do is we will be again checking the logs, the drop logs for this particular rule. If you will go over here, just double click and open this, and it will say you that this particular category, this particular request was blocked, and the block message was also displayed, as we have seen now while browsing the crick info site, crick time website. So this was all about blocking the things using a pre-defined category or a customized category using a source IP address. Moving on, what we will do, we will be configuring the policy using the user based source. We will be using the source as a user based. So let me take this rule down, because now we don't need this rule. We will disable this rule, and identity awareness rule we will enable. Let me delete this rule as well. We will create a new rule and install the policy. We'll be going to lab policy, install. Sorry, I have selected standard, so we have to select lab policy over here. Install the policy. Let's wait for the policy to install successfully. and then we will be coming back to our original topic where we will be blocking the, I mean, we will be using a URL filtering and application filtering for using the ID awareness, that is using the user based. So now the policy is installed successfully. Let's come on to the topic now. So guys, as you can see now, in our earlier tutorial, what we have done was identity awareness. So for doing so, we have seen that if this is a rule configure, by default your internet will not work, right? What you have to do is you have to open a portal, you have to authenticate using a username, or else you have, if you don't have a username, then you have to fill the form. This is what we have seen in our earlier tutorial. It's not working, right? So let's log in very first. 10.11.200 connect. We will be using our Active Directory user over here. We have access now. We will go to facebook.com, and you can see it is working now. I mean, you have full internet access using this rule number 3, that is ID awareness, which says that source is the Active Directory user, and then destination can be any, and the services are HTTP, HTTPS, and DNS, and accept and display the captive portal, right? This was the rule which we have configured in our earlier tutorial. Now we will be doing a URL filtering using the identity awareness. Just right click over here and add the rule above. The things which we are going to do over here will be same thing. We will say that let's create a rule, sorry, typing mistake, block web access, or you can say like a restricted web access. Source, you will be using the same source, and destination you will switch to any, or you can say internet. Over here, when you define services and application, we will be, let's say we will say this time I want to block YouTube. From the predefined category, we will choose YouTube over here. So as you can see, it gives you the option. Either you can select the subcategories like YouTube Kids, YouTube Mobile, or if you want to go away and block the entire YouTube, you can do that as well over here. This is the one. Just add this, and the action, keep it drop, log the traffic. If you wish, you can give checkpoint gateway, or else already we have said that our default installation path will be the checkpoint gateway, this firewall itself, and finally install the policy. Publish and install. As you can see, our policy is no, not succeeded. It will start the installation. Slab policy install. Okay, the policy is installed successfully. Now we will proceed further and we will test this particular rule what we have created now, right? So you are logged already. Let's browse youtube.com, and you can see now YouTube is not accessible, right? Let me add a category for Facebook also, which was accessible before. Let's add one more predefined category, which is facebook.com. Let's block entirely the full Facebook over here and install the policy. Okay, now we'll test this. Let's try to open facebook.com now. Let's try again facebook.com. And you can see that even the Facebook is not reachable because it is getting blocked due to this particular rule. So what we are going to do is we will check the logs for this rule, and you can see the user which is logged in through IT admin. Let's open this. You can see that the source is 10.1.1.100 with the user ID underscore admin, and the destination is given the IP address, and it is what it is saying that the action is drop, and using which rule it is blocked, that also it will be shown over here. The match rule is restricted web access, the one which we have created now. And additionally it is giving you session details also, that the application name was YouTube which was blocked. The primary category is media stream. Then all the details about the category and everything it is being shown, so this gives you much more exposure that yes, the YouTube website was blocked, and for using which rule it was blocked. Additionally, if you will see a few more logs over here, let's go down a little more and see the logs. Okay, if you will see, then it will again give you the details, like which was the rule and how it was blocked. So guys, when we will be doing tutorial on logs, and over there we will be having much more detail. The small part which is remaining in this tutorial is in this using the identity awareness itself. Now we will be adding one more category to block on this particular rule itself. It's the same one which we have customized, that was a cricket, if you remember, right? Sorry, sports. Let's try to find this sports. Okay, we will add it over here, and now what we will say that we don't not only drop it over here, but at the same time I want a message to be displayed to the user. Just check the user check over here, click on user check, add this block message, and over here we will try to customize the message also. If you have remember, last time it was a default which we have taken. Now over here we will say that I want to add a logo, so you can either add the logo, if you have your own logo that you can add, or else by clicking over here and then add new image. If you have a company image logo, you can add it, or else even you can add a checkpoint logo over here. And what I'm going to do is I will just edit this message over here. I will say that access to application name for so and so user. So I will be adding a field over here for username. I will say this block according to organization security policy. If you want to add IP address also, that also you can add, but over here we are going we are doing a lab on I mean, we are creating a rule for the identity awareness, so we won't be adding any IP address. We'll say usernames. Access to so and so application for so and so username is blocked according to organization security policy. It will say what category it falls under, and so on. So just doing these changes, you will say OK and click on OK over here. Also, you will get this option that for this service and application, now we have added this thing also, that drop and prompt the message whenever the site is blocked. Click on install policy over here. Click on publish and install, and wait for the policy to install. And guys, as I told you many times earlier also, since you have the two policy packages, it is reflecting you again and again. But if you want to remove the standard one, you can do it from going to menu over here, and you can remove the standard package. Then it will be only showing you one policy. Click on install button. Okay, the policy is installed now. Now I will just go over here and I will try to call the website from the one which we have categorized now, that is crickinfo.com. It's not giving us the page. Why it is not giving? Let's troubleshoot this now. So guys, let's do one thing. The very first thing what we will do is we will just try to log out from here and we'll try to log in again. Regain the access. The same user we will use over here, and we are login. Network access is granted to us. Let's try now. www.quicktime.com. Okay, it's working for you now. So as you can see now, the page is blocked. It is giving you the message also displayed over here for this particular website, and it is saying that access to sports for IT admin user. We have added a field username, right? So it is giving you IT admin user is blocked according to the organization security policy. So it is then defining a category as custom application site, and of course it is giving you option click here if to report wrong category. So guys, that's all about the web filtering and application filtering which we have seen using a pre-configured categories as well as a customized categories which we have created. So if you wish, as per your requirement, you can add a URL. I have only specified one or two URL, but if you wish, you can add more and you can try on your own. Apart from that, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment box. You are most welcome to ask me, and I will reply to your queries as soon as possible. Before we conclude, one small thing I would like to show, like let's say for example, if you instead of action as accept or drop, if you want to say like you want to allow a streaming site, like you want to allow a YouTube. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Just remove this Facebook and this customized category which we have created sports, and your requirement is like you want to define a web access as a limited web access. Let's say limited web access, and for the YouTube you want to allow YouTube, but you want to define a policy where you will say that up to the certain bandwidth only you want to allow. You can define that as well. Just going over here and accept, if you will define see a limit option, you can say that you want to limit the usage up to upload 1 Gbps or download 1 Gbps and so on. So you can do that also, or you can say like I want to restrict the download to 1 gbps. Even you can just define your own policy that when we will be looking after the policies in much more in detail about this, we will look into that as well. So you can define this also that yes, you want to allow YouTube, but you want to limit the download to 1 gbps. And upload, it is saying unlimited. You can define the upload limit also as whatever you want. Just for the showing purpose I'm showing, but when we will be going more into detail about the policies in the coming tutorial, I will show you how you can customize this as well. And you can say that no, I want to allow the download and upload up to 5 mbps, and that will also work for you. So you will simply click on install policy, publish and install, and as usual will install the policy and wait for the policy to install successfully. So guys, the policy will be installed now. And that's all about this tutorial in web filtering and application filtering. I once again repeat guys, if you have any queries, you're most welcome to comment in the comment box. And if you want to know some more thing on this tutorial, definitely you are most welcome to ask the questions in the comment box, and definitely I will reply to your query as soon as possible. So that's all in this tutorial guys. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe it now and do share with your friend. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.